Well, hey everybody, I'm John Redland, and this is my review of WWE NXT for October 23rd, 2019. And they got me with that ending. They fucking got me. My 34 plus years watching wrestling, especially in the last few years, there's been very few moments where I'm like, holy shit, they actually did that. And it doesn't matter what wrestling company. I'm like, nah, yeah, I could sort of see where they were going. And honestly, I feel dumb because the hints were all there. The hints were all there that this was going to happen, but nobody believed it, or at least vast majority of people didn't, judging by my Twitter timeline, and fucking hell, Twitter just exploded with that ending, and I don't blame them, because it was truly a monumental moment, and I can't wait to see how they're going to follow up on it. But before we get to that, Rhea Ripley versus Bianca Belair, the crowd was very, very split. And honestly, I really don't blame them. Bianca has been pretty goddamn over, has gotten multiple opportunities at Shayna, but has failed to capitalize on them, yet has still stayed over. And Rhea and her had some good strength displays. Bianca is no slouch in that department. Rhea with some incredible kicks and some great strength, some good submission exchanges. Bianca really almost grinding down Rhea and almost beating her. And then Io Shirai interfered because Io and Rhea had a stare down recently when Io wanted to face Shayna and was like, hey, I want to face her, this kind of stuff. So Io tried to cost Rhea the match. Rhea kicked out of a big move from Bianca, and then Candice came down, got Io down, and then Rhea eventually hit the Riptide, 1, 2, 3. So the idea was supposed to be that Rhea would face Shayna Baszler. Now maybe they're still going to go that route. I don't know what NXT social media said, but I'm thinking we're probably going to go with a fatal four-way, like maybe an elimination match or something, and the winner will face Shayna Baszler, out of that. Which is a shame because I actually think it would have been better to go with the route of Rhea facing Shayna straight up and then having Rhea beat Shayna. But whatever route they go, bottom line, this was a good match. I enjoyed this. Both these women came out shining. There are some people I think they're disappointed that Bianca lost. But to be fair, Bianca's had her shots at Shayna and has not won. Rhea had that one, had that match against Shayna, but it ended up like all fluky and everything. So if you all remember that. So the bottom line is, this is a good way to tell it, but they're probably going to go the fatal four-way route. However, this was good stuff, and then we get Kathy Kelly talking to Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate as they're arriving at Full Sail, and Pete Dunne just kind of blows up the whole idea of like, no excuses for Damian, how Damian Priest beat him and stuff like that, but then she asks, well, what about Killian Dane? He just kind of blows off the whole thing, so that's going to be pretty interesting to see that feud transpire. We then get a Tommaso Ciampa video package, very, very well done, from the time he had to relinquish the championship to his rehab and coming back. And really, it's just an unbelievable journey that he has taken through all these injuries that he has suffered throughout his entire career, but especially just in the past couple years, and has still managed to come back way ahead of schedule and still be a peak performer, just at his physical peak. I just hope that he can wrestle a number of years longer, but I fear that he's probably about at the end of the road. Maybe after another 2 years or 2 years or so, that's about it. Now, I do apologize for my voice, by the way. I am battling a 24-hour cold, so I'm sorry about that. Anyway, so we then get Matt Riddle versus Cameron Grimes. This was good. I enjoyed this. This was a really hard-hitting match, a lot of really good kicks, and a lot of really good exchanges. Riddle tended to dominate quite a bit of this. Grimes did get in some moves, and then eventually it just became like a spam move match where it's like hit a move, all that stuff. There was a point where Riddle hit a jackhammer and the crowd started chanting, instead of Goldberg, they started chanting Riddle, Riddle. So my guess is they're probably going to have Riddle versus Goldberg at some point. Who knows? Might be Survivor Series, or it might be at War Games. They might actually do that. I doubt it. That would be pretty weird if they managed to do that, especially Goldberg on an NXT show, since Riddle would be super over and Riddle would likely wipe the floor with him, because you wouldn't want to have Goldberg out there for any longer than a couple minutes. But at least it's interesting. It's interesting where they're going with this. I don't know if they're ever actually going to face off, but really, like, Grimes came close a couple times to winning, but in the end, the Bro Derek, 1, 2, 3, Matt Riddle wins, and it was a fine match. It was well done. Grimes suffering, I believe, his first defeat in a while, at least in a number of weeks, since he had kind of rattled off some victories. So this is pretty good stuff. And then we get some more Riddle chants, and then he tries a fist bump with Grimes. He doesn't want that. Fist bumps Bate. And then Grimes ends up shoving Tyler Bate, goes to get his hat, and then Bate says, wait, bop or bang, and then he hits him with the fist. And we're going to get that match next week. which I think is going to be quite fun. Then we get a Dominik Dijakovic video package highlighting the fact, where he, how he's built up everything and what he's going to do in this match, in the three-way North American Championship match. And then we get William Regal saying earlier on WWE's YouTube channel, Tegan Nox and Dakota Kai will face Jessamyn Duke and Marina Shafir. And the winner will face Kabuki Warriors next week for the Women's Tag Team Championships. Cool. Not fond of Duke and Shafir getting any TV time because they don't deserve it, but whatever. It is what it is. We then get Breezango with a Top Gun entrance. And there was a pretty funny moment where Beth said, Breezango, or I asked Breezango about teaching me how to fly. And she said if she can't control the throttle, to grip it with both hands. And I think it was like something where Nigel says, Beth, you should be you should be a limbo dancer or something because everything goes over your head. She's like, what do you mean? So they're having Beth play the ditzy blonde when Beth isn't an idiot. She's not great at commentary, but she's not an idiot. Then we get Breezango and who else but Swerve, Isaiah Swerve Scott versus the Forgotten Sons. And look, I'm sorry, but when the Forgotten Sons are there, I just don't give a shit. It's not that they aren't good athletes. I just don't give a shit about the gimmick. Not one bit. Breeze got beat up some. There were some good exchanges, don't get me wrong. There was a bit of comedy, but there was quite a bit of good action. Swerve did get tagged. He did hit a really cool moonsault, as I'm going to call it, the Swerve Salt. And then, of course, Morrow has to throw out the Back to the Future line, Great Scott, which was really, really good. I can appreciate that. And then he ends up later hitting a back kick, 1, 2, 3, and he gets a victory. So, okay, cool, the Forgotten Sons lost. And Riker didn't take the pin. That's actually pretty smart, but it's just that gimmick does absolutely nothing for me. Does absolutely nothing. And then, of course, NXT puts Roddy's package on display. And a certain viewer on the channel is going to appreciate that, and I'm just going to leave that right there. And we then get Lio Rush coming out for commentary. Yay, great, good. Just what I want to fucking hear is Lio Rush on commentary. I don't like Lio Rush. I'm sorry, I don't. I would try to be fair and impartial when he beat Drew Gulak for the Cruiserweight Championship, but I just didn't care. I just didn't care that Lio was on commentary, and Lio is, for as good of a talker as he is, and yes, he's good in the ring. I just don't care about the guy. He was saying some lines that really weren't all that good and everything, because now they have a 4-person commentary team, and it just didn't really work. It was Angel Garza versus Gentleman Jack Gallagher. Was what it was. They never said it was a #1 contenders match, but it's pretty obvious that they were going to make it that. And I don't know if Rush is supposed to be a heel since Angel Garza won. I'm assuming that Rush is going to be the babyface. But Garza is probably going to get cheered more. He's going to get cheered more by me because, again, I don't really like Lio Rush. I'm sorry. I just don't. The match was what it was. It wasn't bad. And at least it's nice that the Cruiserweight Championship is actually being featured. And please, for the love of God, get rid of 205 Live and just move all the Cruiserweights into NXT. Move some to NXT UK if need be. You got 2 hours. You got a chance to have it filled. You can fill out the house shows a little bit more. Do something. Just do something. Because the 205 Live brand essentially is dead. People are not watching it. At least not enough people are watching it, which is a shame because the storylines and the matches have been really, really good. But there's also only so many hours in the week to watch, and some people are deciding to cut 205 Live from their schedule, which again is a shame. But anyway, we then get Tegan Nox and Dakota Kai versus Jessamyn Duke and Marina Shafir. Duke and Shafir should never be allowed in the motherfucking ring again. They are fucking rotten. They have not gotten any goddamn better. I think like Shafir hit like an okay judo throw type thing, but fucking hell. I'm amazed Dakota Kai and Tegan Nox did not need more knee surgeries from having to carry those 2 slugs of Shayna Baszler. And I'm not saying Shayna Baszler's a slug, not at all. Shayna Baszler is quite good, but Duke and Shafir are not. And Kai and Tegan, it's just such a shame. Now, they won. Thank fucking Christ they won. But this match was so painfully unnecessary. Here's a question. Why didn't you just have it be Vanessa Bourne and Aaliyah in the match? And here's why. Now, I get it. You're trying to tie the whole thing of Kai and Tegan, staring, like having that exchange with Shayna Baszler like last week. I get that. I do get that. But Duke and Shafir are not nearly ready enough. They aren't. They are fucking rotten. And I know I'm going off on a bit of a tangent here, but it's just, I understand it's got to be difficult to be in the ring. It's got to be difficult to wrestle. It's got to be difficult to transition from any kind of MMA or any athletic background to be trained from scratch if you've never been in the ring. It's got to be difficult. But Duke and Shafir just don't have it. I mean, fucking hell, as much as I may rail on the fact that the four horsewomen of WWE are getting pushed constantly at the expense of a lot of the other roster, at least all those women can go in the ring. Ronda got better, got a ton better than I thought she ever would, and I'm very, very happy I was wrong about that. She could stop denying the shootings happen in schools, and she could also stop trying to cut off her hair and wash Sasha's feet with it, but at least she got better in the ring. Shayna has improved in the ring, but you just can't have these two slugs dragging them down. You just can't. They are fucking terrible. They are objectively bad. They have almost no ring presence. They look confused as fuck when they're in there. And having different styles and everything is not a bad thing, but they are just really, really fucking bad. So now, with that out of the way, Asuka and Kairi show up on a video package. They start yelling in Japanese at Tegan and Dakota. If this leads to the Women's Tag Team Championships actually being featured on NXT TV, which is something Bayley and Sasha wanted to do, and it's something they should have done with the Iconics, hey, good. And actually, Asuka and Kairi, especially Asuka, is going to get treated like royalty in NXT because she was treated like royalty in NXT. But it's going to be a good match. It'll give them 10 to 12 minutes, and I think they're going to have a pretty damn good match. At least 10 to 12. Maybe not 20, but 10 to 12 at least. And then we get Keith Lee video package, his Limitless package. Have fun on seeing that. More about the North American three-way, which transitions us to the North American three-way. Keith Lee, Dominik Dijakovic, and Roderick Strong, North American title three-way. And this is good. This is a really good match. It was pretty much like if you saved up all your specials in a game and just started hitting them at some point and then just built them back up. It was a really, really good, it was sort of a car crash match, but it made sense. Everybody got a chance to shine. I mean, I can't go over every single spot. I would be here all day. It would be like a 45-minute review. I can't go over all that. But there were a lot, it did have a big fight feel. There was a lot of cool power moves. Roderick did some hit and run stuff and then eventually got in and did some stuff when he was trying to pin both guys. Well, pin one, then try to pin the other. Lots of double team spots. At one point, Dominik Dijakovic had to be really careful not to fully slam Keith Lee on Roderick Strong. As strong as Roddy is, pun intended, that would have hurt. That would have really fucking hurt. Everyone got a fucking chance to shine in this. There was a cool Tower of Doom spot. There were plenty of cool moves. Just some great, great exchanges. Honestly, go watch this match. It's really, really terrific. Great display by all three men. And it really shows how important a championship match can be. They went all out. I don't know how any of these guys were standing afterwards. But then we get, after Keith Lee hits a big move on Roderick Strong, or not on Roderick Strong, but on Dominik Dijakovic, Roderick Strong, with the running knee, manages to pin Keith Lee 1, 2, 3, and there we go. So that's the end of the show, and there we are, folks. Oh, wait, it's not the end of the show, because the Undisputed Era beats up Keith Lee a bit. They're all celebrating everything, and then Ciampa's music hits, and he comes down with the crutch, and he's here, and, you know, he's wanting Goldie back and everything, and the crowd's chanting, Daddy's home, and then Gargano shows up. So, okay, we got DIY and an unlikely, you know, pseudo reunion and stuff like that. And then suddenly, Finn Balor shows up. Finn Balor, you know, wearing a leather jacket, just all black clothes and everything, and he's ready, and he is all ready and everything. And then he gets in front, just in front enough, and then hits that freaking bicycle kick on Johnny Gargano, and everybody loses their shit in full sail. Everybody lost their shit on Twitter. I checked many people's timelines, people I follow. Shout out to cat_woman13, who has some good reaction videos, and, you know, talked about her feelings on, you know, Finn turning heel. Prince Devitt is back, baby, and that's all that we wanted. That's all people wanted. I was not able to watch New Japan Live at the time, but I got to see enough clips and enough matches of his stuff over the years. You're in for a goddamn treat, folks. You're in for a fucking treat. If they even let him do half of what he did in New Japan, we are in for a fucking treat. This was a pretty goddamn good episode. But again, let me, you know, just once again shout out Catwoman13 for her reaction videos. And Finn did a really, really, really brutal 1916 on Gargano on the floor. And cool. That's some really good stuff. Maybe we get Balor joining part of, the Undisputed Era for a little bit of War Games. Maybe we get Balor bringing Styles, Gallows, and Anderson as part of War Games. And we get Bullet Club Undisputed Era and we get another team. I'm not sure what the fuck's going to happen. It's going to be very interesting to see that, but they actually went full bore with it, and I'm happy. I can't wait to see what they're going to do. And really, Finn being a heel, it's about time. So, B+. B+. This episode smashed AEW this week. It did. I normally don't like to compare that stuff, but honestly, it is a Wednesday Night War. You don't have to pick which brand. You can watch both. I review AEW live and review NXT later, but B+. This was close to an A show. There were some things I didn't really necessarily like, but especially with that Finn heel turn, you gotta just go B+. Anyway, agree, disagree with what I said, like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Ritlin, and I'll see you soon.